Hey guys, welcome back to Super Switch U. Sorry for like the complete media blackout almost seemed like for the last couple of days. Um, Been crazy hectic ever since this bad boy came out. Yeah, I really never figured out the live stream or the recording gameplay footage. Probably because I don't have good equipment for that. So unfortunately, you're still just going to get my opinion on things and not a whole lot else. If I show videos and stuff, it's just going to be trailers pulled, and I'm going to try to keep that to just what's important and not so much filler, I guess. But that's not what you're here for. You're here to hear about Switch 2 and all the things. So for this video, I think I'm just going to stick to my thoughts on the game so far and maybe the system as a whole. And later on, I'll give the story of getting the console and what happened that night. Um, there's a lot I could talk about, and instead of trying to cram it all into one, we'll try to spread it out some. I realized I did not bring the cases in here, like all the game cases. So um, we'll just do this without. That's fine. So if just as a reminder, the games that we had gotten at launch was Mario Kart World, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, Split Fiction. We got the Welcome Tour, and I was able to get an upgrade to online plus expansion pack, so I was able to play the GameCube games. At some point, I will get to try out the upgrade packs for the two Zeldas, but I have not done that yet. Mostly because I was trying to all the new stuff, whereas like I've played both of those games all the way, completed them, put tons of hours into it. So it's not as appealing to want to like go in there just to see some visual improvements and maybe an app usage. Um, but at some point, I will get to I will get around to testing those out and letting you guys know my thoughts on it. Um, but let's see. Let's start with the welcome tour because I know a lot of people are curious about that one, and I gotta say it was really underwhelming. So just to put that lightly, because I was hoping there was some kind of like secret awesome thing in there, and even the mini games kind of feel like forced tech demos almost. At least what I've done so far. Best one being that spaceship game where you're dodging the spike balls, but have not beat the game. Have not gone through everything. I did that one. I did the one where you have to find the strongest rumble. So you're using the mouse and going back and forth. Hit it almost dead on first try and got the medals. Haven't done any of the variations, which each game will have 2 to 4 different variations of the game. You collect medals from all the different activities, the tech demos, and the games. I don't think you actually get any from quizzes. I only did one, and I don't remember getting one from it. But yeah, so there's that spike ball game, and there was the rumble. There's a pick out the frame rate game, and it's really hard to call that a game because it feels like it should have been part of the quiz. I can't even do it. Like I sit there and I watch it, and a couple of them you can tell. Some they move real slow. If it's slow, but it's fast. It's hard to say. Like the ball will go across, but it's like barely turning and just flying through real quick, so you don't see it. It'll be like your 20 or 30 frames per second kind of thing. But when it starts getting to like the 40 to 60 range, I don't see it. I don't see the difference there. Um, when you're just comparing balls playing, like going across, like I don't know. But I can tell you that even if I could see it, it's not a fun game by any means. It's like oh yeah, let me just test to see if my eyes work. Maybe put that put that in the what is it, optometrist office. Yeah, like all right, let's see how good your eyes are. Can you tell the difference between 20 and 120 frames per second? No? Yeah, you need glasses. All right, there you go. Um, there's a tech demo with the first world from Mario, the original Super Mario Bros. It's a 4K Mario 1-1 something. Anyway, it's supposed to be just showing off that if you were to perfectly map the pixels, you could put from one side of the screen to the other all of Mario World 1-1, but it makes it so small in comparison to everything. Um, so it also makes it very hard to play. Um, and I don't know what's going on with the camera here, guys. I'm sorry. It's doing some weird stuff. It's early. Even if I open up the curtain, like there's no light coming in to help fix that. So we'll deal with it. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Probably one of the more fun things of Welcome Tour is just when you get to the section where you're actually on the Switch and you're running across the screen. They make it really slick, and so it's like ice skating around the thing, and you can fall and stuff, and like that's almost a game in and of itself. Uh, a lot better than some of the games that they actually put in it. So I'm gonna keep going with it, and like I'll report back a much better review once I've played the entire thing. But know that I'm still on team. It should have been packed in. Um, because really, like Nintendo hasn't done a lot of like actual pack-in games with the systems. Like from day one, something that just exists to really show off what the systems can do. You have Wii Sports from the Wii, and that actually felt like a game that you could have spent 30 to 40 bucks on, and you would have gotten your money's worth out of Wii Sports. But they packed it in, and then certain versions of the Wii U bundle came with Nintendo Land, even though it was also sold by itself. And though those were also technically like little tech demo type things, they were massive games with a lot of replay value, and I would have spent money on it. Maybe not the $50 they were asking at the time, but 30 to 40 bucks would have spent that on Nintendo Land if it didn't come with it. And then the Switch didn't have a pack-in game, but 1-2 Switch could have been that, and was still worth paying for. Because me and my friends played a lot of 1-2 Switch when the Switch came out, and it's a good time with people. So again, like about a $40 range, that would have been a game on its own. This does not feel like that. This feels a lot less than that. A lot less. Because even like the stamp collecting could have been a really fun thing, but they're so obvious where they're at, and it's so integrated to moving to the next area. They had to make it simpler, so it took a lot of that fun out. So that's yeah, that's about as much time as I feel like I should give to Welcome Tour. It's not great. So if you want to throw $10 away just to see it, go right ahead. But it's my say is it's like GameCube games. I didn't put a lot of time into them, but I did pop them on and check them out for a minute. It looks a little bit better than just popping in a GameCube and throwing the discs in. There's a little bit of cleanup there. F-Zero was great to play again. I've definitely gotten better at racing games because now I can play it. Um, 'Cause I struggled with the GameCube one. I did. Uh, Soul Calibur 2, great. It seemed like it was running pretty well. Wind Waker, I wish they would have just gave us HD remaster in a package bundle, because this is the first time I've actually tried to go back, right? I played the original GameCube one for a bit, didn't finish it, just kind of like started it. The HD one came out for Wii U, played and beat it, loved it. All the improvements to the visuals, the map being right at your fingertips, and item switching and stuff. And then going back to the GameCube one kind of sucks. Like not the game itself, it's just like it feels like such a downgrade to go back. So it would have been better if they had just given us that HD remaster. And now that it's on GameCube Online, we may never see that. And I hate it. But I mean, I guess if you've never played Wind Waker, it's fine. But if you've played the HD one, like it's a little bit of a noticeable downgrade. We've got 4 other ones. We have not played Split Fiction yet. Linda had to work yesterday, so we had limited time before that. She had to go in at 2. I still had to go to Best Buy and pick up Cyberpunk and the case, which that case is nice. I know I was going to just talk about the games, but I feel like I should call it out. Next was the brand of case that I got. This thing is thick. Like, you sit there, you're knocking on it, and it feels like knocking on wood. Like, it's going to protect the Switch 2 from a lot of things. It's just very plain on the outside is the only complaint that I've got. If it had a design or a color pattern of some kind, it would have been better. But I mean, it's going to get the job done. It's going to do exactly what it needs to do. But we picked those up, so we didn't have time in the morning. They opened at 10. And we were still playing Mario Kart. And we couldn't play any of it last night, or not last night, but the night before. What was it? Wednesday night. A lot of it was still struggling to download. It seemed like. Struggling's probably not the right word. They were big downloads for Split Fiction and for Hogwarts Legacy. So when we got up yesterday morning, it was still downloading Hogwarts Legacy. So all the GameCube stuff had to wait, and Welcome Tour had to wait, which is part of why I didn't get a video done, because I had like nothing to talk about besides Mario Kart at that point. But Linda was playing Hogwarts just before we left, and then that looked amazingly better than the Switch one, just visually and how it was running. I actually could tell a difference, and I don't often see minor differences, so there was a lot fixed in it. So I'll have more to talk about it when I get a chance to play it. So, like 3 months. I don't know how long it's gonna take her to finish playing it, but it's fine. It's her game, and she wanted it, so we're good there. But yeah, so we didn't get to Split Fiction. We're gonna get to that today. So then Mario Kart. No, hold on. I haven't talked about Cyberpunk, so we'll stick to Cyberpunk for right now, because yeah, I don't know what kind of game I was expecting that to be, but it's a little weird in some spots. The customization spot. I was not expecting certain options. Let me just put it to you that way, because you build your character, right, and it's got like all the hair options, eyebrows, the typical stuff you see when they put way too many customization options in, even the jawline and whatnot, piercings, and you kind of get through, And the first weird thing to pop up is like nipples question mark is like on or off. So you could like turn on having actual nipple details. Uh, yeah. I was like, okay, I don't see where this is going to be important, but I guess I take my shirt off at some point. So if Mario could have nipples in Odyssey, then I'll let him have nipples here. So it's fine. And we just kept picking options, and then it gives you the option for genitals. Like yeah, like junk, man. Like you either have junk or you don't. And whew, was not prepared for turning that on. First option is it's a wiener. It's a wiener. It's just flops out like as soon as you. This is not the kind of videos I thought I'd be making here, but like I feel like I need to talk about it in case somebody has not looked extensively into Cyberpunk and you didn't know this was here. Maybe don't play this with other people around because they're gonna question what the crap you're playing. Oh my gosh! Like he has your character has underwear on until you get to that point, and then they just disappear. And three options if it's not off. Just so you know, you could go cut, uncut, or you could have a try to think of an appropriate word to use here. The lady bits. You could have the lady bits instead. Even if you picked a guy, like he could be fully muscular all the way down, and then you're, uh, then you're inverted down there. Um, Sweating a bit. It's getting hot in here. Oh my gosh. So yeah, gonna have to make sure I don't play this with the babies around, um, or the family. Just alone in the dark, quiet, by myself, creepy style. Uh, yeah, I don't know, but just be aware that that is very much a thing in that game. But when you get past that, it's not bad. Um, Finding that there is not online multiplayer stuff, which is really cool. So it is very, very story driven. Um, and it seemed like there's like three different kinds of stories to go through. Maybe I only picked one. I went for the Nomad story, but there was I'm trying to think what the second option was. There was Nomad, there was something, and then there was Corpo, which is like the bad guys, like the corporate shell kind of. But anyway, so you pick one of those and it starts up story based on that, and yeah, there's a decent amount of driving in the game. There's a lot of shooting and swords. I did the tutorial for combat and stuff, which one thing I was not expecting as much as what was in there, motion controls. And I don't mean like the controller like holding a pro controller like you might turn this or whatever and you could turn the vehicle. I mean like full on like whack 'em with the right Joy-Con to punch or to slice. The left one you do that and it gives you your uh, health packs and stuff. And there's a few other things like for blocking and stuff. I was not expecting for them to incorporate that into the Switch version. Like it's awesome, but if I'm gonna mostly be playing this in handheld because I don't know what's gonna pop up on the screen, I may not use a whole lot of it. But to know that I have the choice is really cool. So kudos to them for putting that in. But I really didn't get too far in after that. Really just the first thing after you you get across the border into New City, and they do the little time skip when you find the iguana and whatever. Like if you've played, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's not very far. It's really like the first full mission, and not shooting at cars from the car and combat tutorial. It's like right after that. So I will maybe get some more time on it today. And further into the future, because I've got a month and a half till Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong is going to take up a lot of my time. So it's probably enough time to play it, probably. So yeah, so now finally Mario Kart, because I know a lot of you guys were wanting to hear about Mario Kart. It's the big Switch 2 launch title. And I hate to say I'm a little underwhelmed at the moment. Like, it's still good. It's still a good Mario Kart, but I think with how much Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did, it's hard to top that. And I know in the comments of one of my videos, me and another guy were talking about it, and he was like, Mario Kart 8 looks so much better. And you know what? Not visually, no, it's not, but content-wise, it might be. I mean, there's a ton of tracks on 8 Deluxe with the Booster Course Pass, all the DLC. And there's a much better character roster for like actual characters, and not just the little baddies that some of them don't even have arms and legs. And kart customization. Like, that's that is my biggest complaint right now. Like, all the other stuff is fine, and it like gets the job done, but you can't switch out the wheels or gliders and stuff to get a better combination for speed or for acceleration or whatever it is that you need to win at Mario Kart. So I can't get my Mr. Scooty and put the little baby tiny wheels and play as Toad and kick people's butts. So now there's no appeal to play as Toad. Now I'm playing as I've played as Nabbit a little bit more than I was thinking I would. Probably because it's like the first time he's playable, and he feels more like a character than a bad guy. But yeah, so when you go to pick the carts, it's like just the full cart together, and you're picking that instead. However, it does seem like there's quite a bit of unlockable carts. Because just like with 8 Deluxe, and you'd collect coins like every 100 or 200, like there's different checkpoints, and you'd unlock another cart piece, you unlock another cart after so many coins. So like the first 100 gets you one, at 200 you get one, 400 you get one, it just keeps going. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of things to unlock in this. And a lot of games don't do that anymore because people seem to complain because they can't play as everything at the beginning. And it's like, sometimes it's nice to feel like you have to work at something to get it based off of playing the game. There's a nice appeal to that. So even all the characters are not unlocked from the beginning. You unlock a specific character for each of the Grand Prix. It's a little weird to make Donkey Kong an unlockable character, but he is. So you can unlock Donkey Kong, Rosalina, Daisy. Yeah, that's the other thing. Daisy and Rosalina are unlockable, but Pauline is playable from the start. That feels like it should be the other way around, right? Because Pauline really hasn't been much in the Mario series for so long. She feels more like a secret, whereas Rosalina has been so integrated to a lot of the games and stuff, like 3D World. She was unlockable to play as. Daisy kind of got some of that back with Wonder. You could just play as her from the beginning in Mario Bros. Wonder. So why are they unlockable, but Pauline's just like right there? I don't get it. Bowser Jr. is unlockable. He was the first one that me and Larry unlocked. We didn't even know you could do that. We were just playing a Grand Prix to get a feel for the game, and I was falling asleep because this was Wednesday night. Technically, Thursday morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I got my butt kicked. Woke up a couple of times in like 13th, 14th place. It was a little embarrassing, but yeah. So you unlock the characters and the cart pieces. The P-switch missions unlock stickers. Not quite sure what you do with the stickers. They just feel more like achievements at this point. And that's the other thing. Free roam. I have not done as much of that as I thought I was going to, because you can unlock so much doing the other modes, and it just feels better to play those. And there's a lot of empty space, it seems like, in different places for free roam. Like, you find a P-switch somewhere, and there might be a couple of hidden things, and then there's a gap because you're like actually on the course, and then there might be another section that has some stuff. And maybe I just haven't played it enough to find all the things. Maybe I'm a little wrong on that, but it's not like packed full of stuff. It's just sort of there. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of there. I have not done Knockout Tour yet because I was having so much fun in Grand Prix. I got stuck in it. But Linda is currently doing that, or she was when I walked out of the bedroom to get dressed and do this video. So it looks good, though. It does. It's actually continuous. And by that, like, when you're doing the Grand Prix, it has to load for a short period of time after you finish the course, but before you go on to the next one. You still drive yourself to the next course, though. It's weird. You start back up on the course, and I think what it is it's loading everybody together instead of, still trying to finish up the race from before. And so you start out driving, and it does the whole little like countdown with the green lights, and then you take off and you go in between, and so there's a chunk that you're driving to that next section before you drive on the next course. And it's neat. It's neat that it's there, but it was also a little hard sometimes to tell that that's what it was doing because of that load screen. I was thinking like, okay, maybe it's a different mode that you drove between, but no, like it takes a second to put everybody together and then you take off. So, I mean, I guess it keeps it fair, but with Knockout Tour it's different because you're not doing that little bit of load section. Like, you are legitimately driving all the way through. So, you do still get that somewhere. It's just not with Grand Prix. So, but I mean, overall good. I will get back to you guys before I say if it's $80 good. Because if there is like a ridiculous amount of carts and stickers and stuff, and it keeps you playing for a long time, that's probably fair to say, okay, yeah, that's $80 worth because I'm going to get 100+ hours out of this thing or whatever. And you can, even just doing multiplayer, you can get that kind of time out of any Mario Kart. But in the same logic, Kart 8 Deluxe with all the booster core stuff could have been. And yeah, I guess when you put all the pricing together there, 8 Deluxe came out at $59.99, so $60. And yeah, you got the DLC, but you're also playing that came out in 2017, and 8 came out in 14. So a 3-year-old Mario Kart game. That's actually not that bad. I was thinking it was a bigger gap. But then you pay another $25 for the booster course pass. So essentially, you've paid $85 if that's the only one you bought. But if you're like me, you bought the Wii U one and the DLC. So that was $80 plus another 85. So spent 165 through the course of Mario Kart 8. Yeah, I might not be good with money. I don't know. I try not to think too far into how many times I've spent money on the same thing. But yeah, so if excuse me. Uh, it's early and I think allergies are hitting me. It won't stop raining out there. So anyway, if you really think about it in terms like that, and if the Switch 2 lasts for about 8 years, and they don't re-release it, so you're only paying the $80 the one time, it's not bad in the grand scheme of things. But if they add a bunch of DLC and you're throwing more money into it, and you gotta kind of question it. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll do better reviews of these games probably over the course of the next few weeks as I play them enough to review them to say like, okay, so this is actually what you're doing here, and the whatever. But this is still going on a long time. We're at 31 minutes already, so I'll go ahead and wrap up for now. Just know that it is still really fun. Just I don't know. It's might be the first time I'm a little underwhelmed by the games, but I think it's because it was so much for the system. Like it was $450 for the system, and then the games were a little pricier. And I don't know. At a different point, I'll do a video comparing launch titles and what I picked up at the different launches, at least across the last 3 for like Wii U and stuff. We might throw Wii in there too because me and Matt were there picking it up together, even though he paid for it. But we did get a couple of games at launch, so I'll compare all that later and tell you how I really feel about the launch lineup and stuff. Might have been better if there wasn't so many game key cards. But that's a topic for another day. But let me hear from you guys. Comment down below what you think. If you guys were able to get a Switch 2 and have played some of these games, share your opinions on it, and we'll talk about it. Review notes, compare. If there's something you want to see more of out of these games or hear more about, let me know that too, and I'll explore it and try to get back to you with what those look like. And just whatever. Like we could literally talk about anything in the comments. Know that certain topics might be less discussed. If you try to go like too far into politics, I'm not gonna fully debate those things with you. But if you keep it to video game stuff, we will talk about anything. And then hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.